If you're in Xennial, the spring-summer 18 shows in Milan might earn a special soft spot with you. Especially after a week in which the original supermodels Cindy Crawford, Naomi Campbell, Carla Bruni, Claudia Schiffer and Helena Christensen reunited to close the Versace show. My Little Pony made a runway appearance at Moschino and Prada brought back its top-selling nylon bag. This season, Italy's fashion world has been awash in nostalgia, with designers behind the country's mega brands mining the archives and reviving some of their greatest hits. And it's made for a feel-good respite from a month of bad global news. Getty advertisement. Continue reading below. Whether you'd call this optimism or willful delusion, you can probably agree that a newsfeed full of supermodels in Versace chainmail makes a nice, if fleeting, moment of relief from a news cycle of earthquakes, dotards, and hurricanes. Getty IMAX. Street Week of throwbacks began at Gucci, where the brand's archival monogrammed bags from the 80s have made a comeback. After reintroducing the popular throwback in his resort collection, Michel doubled down on the idea and used the bags to accessorize a slew of richly decorated looks. Call it the Dapper Dan effect. The Harlem icon, who became famous in the 80s for cleverly co-opting the logos of Italian luxury brands like Gucci and Fendi on his own designs, was sitting front row. Speaking of Fendi, the brand had a throwback moment of its own the next day in its logo-tastic collection. Karl Lagerfeld used its iconic inverted F's branding he created for the house in 1965 on skirts, jackets, hosiery and all manner of bags. But once again, it was the monogrammed bags, in the same brown leather that was so popular in the 80s and 90s, that stood out as a talking point. Getty Prada, Miacha revived and updated her best-selling black nylon carryall, one of the original it bags of the 90s, reinventing it as a fanny pack, satchel and crossbody bag embellished with studs and strips of leather. The functionality of those pieces underscored the militant feminist thread running through her clothes: tailored coats covered in female superheroes, tomboyish cotton shirts and coats and jackets rolled up at the sleeves and pushed above the elbows. Later that night, Moschino epitomized every Xennial's childhood by bringing back My Little Pony, Jeremy Scott's pop cultural reference of choice this season. He used it everywhere, on pastel-colored t-shirts, sweatshirts, tracksuits, you name it. There was even a My Little Pony lunchbox and thermos, exact replicas of the ones sold in the 80s. And then there was of course the moment that broke the internet, Versace's Supermodel Summit during the emotional finale to Donatella's tribute show honoring her brother Gianni. Getty recognizing the 20-year anniversary of the founding designer's shocking murder, the show doubled as a retrospective of his work, featuring many of his most iconic prints and pieces from the early to mid-90s. The Warholian pop-art print emblazoned with the faces of Marilyn Monroe and James Dean, the gold and black swirls from his graphic Baroque series, the maximalism of his Animalia collection and the bejeweled leather jackets from his iconic Autumn '91 show, the latter of which was recreated when Carla, Claudia, Cindy, Naomi and Helena walked down the runway, mouthing the lyrics to George Michael's Freedom 90 just as they had done 16 years ago. IMAXTREA tribute collection of t-shirts bearing the designer's memorable prints is on sale now. The Versace tribute aside, it's telling that so many Milanese designers are pulling out bestsellers from the archives at a time when luxury fashion as a business is at a crossroads. It seems like a no-brainer, when the life cycle of trends gets ever shorter while the price of clothing, shoes and bags inch higher and higher. Not to mention there's a certain comfort in investing in longevity, spending on familiar pieces that have withstood time. Let's just hope that in this moment of looking backward, fashion doesn't lose sight of the thrill in the new.